You're welcome to Tutorials with Farmer Eternity, the schoolboy. Today, we'll take a look at English language. Today, we'll take a look at English language. Today is 4th April 2024. Okay, we are still on diction. Specifically, we are on word formation by affixation. Word formation by affixation. In our last class, we discussed word formation by affixation, and we discussed the addition of, by affixation we mean addition of what? Prefixes and what? Suffixes. Okay. So, but we are still talking about discussing addition of prefixes. So there we discussed different scenario, different situations. We talked about excuse me. Okay. Okay. So our reference book for today is Catch Up English Language for SSCE/UME by Professor Okebukola et al. So most of the things we are going to discuss today will be taken from this book. Okay, in the last class we started with the prefixes, and we discussed the prefixes that have negative implications. Please, this lecture is online. Please go to our YouTube channel. The channel is For Eternity. For Eternity, the Schoolboy TV on YouTube. So search for Word Formation by Affixation, Part 1. So here you see what we discussed on the prefixes that have negative implications. So specifically, that's where we are not done with that anyway. So there we continue from where we stopped. The last prefix we discussed was none. None. Now, so we go over to this. This. So this means opposite of, or simply not. Opposite of or not. So, and it can be added to these classes of words. It can be added to adjectives. It can also be added to verbs. It can be added to adjectives. It can also be added to verbs. Example: disadvantage, disadvantage, disadvantage. This, look at it. Disadvantage, opposite of advantage, or not an advantage. So this here means opposite. So have you seen how disadvantage, how we formed disadvantage from advantage by simply adding this, which serves to, which means negative what? Negative of what? Opposite of what? Advantage. So this is what we mean by word formation by affixation, specifically prefix. Okay, there are other words like that. Disobedient. Disobedient is also disobedient. Disobedient. The same thing. Disadvantage. Disobedience. As you can see, this here is the prefix that changed the meaning of disadvantage, but it did not change the form. Advantage is a noun, so disadvantage is also a noun. So the form is untouched. The same thing with here. This only change the meaning of obedient. Disobedient talks about opposite of what? Obedience. Okay, but obedient here, the word class of obedient did not change, because obedient is an adjective. So disobedient is also an adjective. Obedient is an adjective. So disobedient is also an adjective. Okay, so other words like disenchanted, dis disenchanted, disenchanted. The same thing here. This as a prefix, enchanted. It changed the meaning of what? Enchanted, but it did not change the form, the word form of what? Enchanted. Disenchanted. Okay. This is also a verb. Is a verb. The word class is unchanged. The word class is unchanged. Okay, now disagree. 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 The same thing happens here. This this talks about opposite of what? Agree. Disagree. It changed the meaning of agree. It gives agree another meaning, but the word form or the word class of agree did not change. Disagree is still what? A verb. It's still a verb. Okay, so there are many words like that. Discredits, disown, disconnect. In each of these, the word class is unchanged, but the actual meaning of the word is changed. Okay, disown. If you own something or own somebody, and after some time you disown, that means you no longer own the person or the thing. So it's opposite of what is. So the meaning has been changed, but it's still not what? The word class is not changed. Disconnect. Disconnect. This means it was actually connected before, but later got disconnected. So disconnect. It can also be to disconnect, depending on the structure of the sentence or the context you are using this. But the main thing there is that this is the opposite of what? Shows opposites. Opposite. Connect is a verb. So disconnect is also a verb. All right. So, but please note, not all words that start with this are actually, not all words that start with this are actually shows word formation by addition of prefix. So it's not everything that has all the word that had that start with this means that that this is actually a prefix. That this somewhere the this may be actually part of the words from the beginning. It may not actually be that it was actually that this was added to it. So not every word that starts with dis means that the a new word was formed by adding prefix. Words like discovery, discovery, discovery. So this discovery is part of this word from the beginning. So it doesn't hold here. There are many words like that. Discover, to discuss, discrete. Many of them discrete. So it doesn't. In this case, it doesn't mean that. Okay, let's say this one now. You can't say that this was added to Crete, then a new word. No, no, they're nothing like Crete. I've never come across this Crete as a word. I've never come across it. If you come across it, please drop your drop the meaning on the comment section. But I've not come across this before. So in discovery, discrete and the other words, it doesn't mean that this shows negative has negative implication. It's just part of the word. Okay. Another prefix I want us to look at is counter. 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 Let me write this out well. Okay, we've discussed today. We discussed this. Next one is counter. 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 Okay, counter means against. It means against. It also means in opposition to or corresponding, depending on the context. Depending on the context, it can mean to against, in opposition, against, in opposition, or corresponding, depending. So it can be added to nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Remember, it may change the meaning, but it may not necessarily change the what? The word class. Okay. You see words like counter, counteract, counteract, or counteract, counteract, counteract. You see things like counterattack, counterfeits, countersign, counterparts. You see things like counterparts, counterfeits, countersign. Of course, remember I said that this counter talks about what? Against. It also talks about what? Corresponding to or in opposition to. Countersign. So sign is a verb, right? So if you countersign, it means that you sign against. I sign, you countersign. You sign against. You sign what? Against. Counter attack. Counter attack. If someone attacks, you counter attack. You are opposed. Okay? You are opposed to the person's action. Okay. Counterfeit. Counterfeits. Counterfeits. Okay, so these are some words that can be formed from counter. Okay, we'll take a look at another word, anti. Anti. A-N-I-T. A-N-T-I. Anti. 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 Anti means against. It can also mean opposed to. It can also mean the opposite of something. The opposite of something. Antibacterial. Against bacteria. Antibacterial. Antisocial. 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 Antibacterial. Against. Fight against bacteria. Antibacterial. Have you seen how bacteria is a noun? Remember, the meaning of the word class of bacteria did not change. What changed here is just the word, the meaning. Antibacterial. It talks about, in this case now, anti here talks about against. It's not opposed to bacteria. It's not opposite now. Remember I said that anti can also mean opposite of or opposed to or opposite of. But in this case now, it's opposed to, it's okay. It's also against bacteria. Fight against bacteria is okay too. Then antisocial. Antisocial. This person, if someone is antisocial or an activity is antisocial, that means is against anything social or opposite of what? Social. But against goes more than opposite. Okay. Antibody. 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 There are many of them. There are many of them. Okay. The next one, the next prefix I want us to look at is a. 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 You see things actually means represents or means can means it has the following meanings depending on the context and the main word is attached to. It can mean lacking in, lack of, not. It can mean not. It can also mean without. It can mean lacking in, lack of, not, without. These are different meanings of the word that you form when you add a as a prefix. We see words like apolitical, apolitical, apolitical. Remember I said that a can mean not. So if someone is apolitical or an activity or whatever, or an event is apolitical, it can mean that it's not political. Depending on the context anyway, it means that it's not political. It can mean that it's not what? political, depending on how it's used, how the sentence is framed. This can be added to nouns. Are can be added to nouns. It can also be added to adjective. Political is adjective. Political is adjective. So is added here. The word form is not changed, but the meaning is changed. Okay. We have amoral, 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 amoral. Somebody that is amoral has no moral in the person. The person has nothing moral. It doesn't before doing anything, doesn't even check the moral implication of whatever he or she wants to do. Whether it's good or bad, he doesn't care. All he wants to do is to do it and achieve his or her what? Aim. So amoral talks about what? Lacking, it can be lacking in morals, it can also be without morals, depending on how it's used. There will be lack of moral, depending on how it's used, depending on the context. Another one is asexual, 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 asexual. Remember in the biology, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Okay, asexual, asexual, asexual. Okay, without sex. Asexual talks about sexual. Sexual itself is an adjective. So asexual is referring to without sex. Asexual reproduction, reproduction without sex. So asexual is without what? Sex. Remember I said that can also be without. Okay. Okay. Asymmetry. 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 When a particular body, body description is asymmetrical. It can be symmetrical, it can also be what asymmetrical. When it is asymmetrical, what it means is that it is not what symmetrical. Remember, I said that R can represent can also mean what not. R can also mean what not. So if you say asymmetrical, it means that it is not symmetrical. Asymmetrical. Symmetrical, which is the root word, is an adjective. So symmetrical is an adjective. So asymmetrical is also an adjective. But the difference is that, but what changed is only the meaning. So asymmetrical means not symmetrical. Okay. You've seen how this word asymmetrical is formed from what? Symmetrical by just adding the prefix a. Okay. Okay, another one is what? Atheist. 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 Of course. Atheist. Atheist. The root word is theist. Theist. A theist. Someone that is a theist. Theist is someone that believes in one God, believes in God. So an atheist is someone that does not believe in what? God. Not believe, does not. So here also talks about what? Not believing in God. Not believing. So theist is a noun. So atheist is also a noun. Atheist is also a noun. The word class did not change. But what changed here is only the meaning not believing in God. An atheist is someone that does not, so not has entered in the meaning, does not believe in God. Because theist, a theist is someone that believes in God. Okay, there are many of them. You can find out more words you can form by adding the prefix a or a, as the case may be. So another prefix I want us to look at is D. D as in DE, not T. D as in what? DE. D. D means to reverse an action. To reverse an action. Talks about reversing an action. D. 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 To reverse an action. It can also mean to get rid of something. To get rid of. To remove. D. I say that D can take the meaning means to get rid of something or to remove something. It also means to reverse an action. It also means opposite or negative of, depending on the root word and how the context you want to make use of the word. So it can mean what? Opposite of or negative of what? Something. It can also mean to get rid of something. It can also mean to reverse an action. Okay, let's look at it. It can be added to verbs. In fact, this majority of words where you can add these are verbs. It can also be added to nouns, but specifically abstract nouns. Specifically abstract nouns can be added to nouns, specifically abstract nouns. Abstract. Abstract nouns, mainly ideas. 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 Okay, let's see what some words that can be formed from this. Form. When something takes a form, you can deform it. Look at this. Deform. D. Something takes a form, you can deform it. If you want to talk about deforming the thing, just simply add DE as a prefix. You get deform. Look at this now. This plastic container has a form already. Look at the form. I can deform this by just pouring hot oil or just placing it close to a hot object, or you place it on a heater. It will just deform. It will just deform. So I have deformed this. So this is what we mean by deform. Is a verb. Deform. Deform is a verb. Because form, even though form can be a noun anyway, form can be a verb. Form can be a noun, form can be a verb. But in this case, I'm talking about the verb. I'm talking about the verb. So as a verb now, the form, you want to change the form, or in fact, give it no particular form at all. Just spoil, just damage the thing. Just you can you can reverse the action. A form has been given to it. That's the form. You now deform it. That you are reversing the action of forming this by the producers, because before they can take this form, they will mold it. So giving it a form. So if you deform it, you are reversing the action of those that produced this. So that's what we mean by what? Reversing an action. So you say another one is decode. Decode. In ICT, to code, encode, and decode. Even encode. Okay, encode is a different surface, a different purpose altogether. So decode. To decode. There are many of them. Deforest. To deforest. Deforestation. Deforestation is a noun now. Deforestation. To deforest. A forest is already there. You want to deforest. You get rid of the forest. You get rid of it. So there are many of them. Please, not everywhere, just as we have in this discrete, discrete, discovery, not every word that starts, that has D, that starts with DE is formed by affixation, by prefixation, by adding a prefix. No, not every word that has DE as the first two letters that are formed from by adding the prefix DE. Please let's take note of that. Words like December, December is just part of the word December. You can't say because of this. Okay, DE was added to December. No, that's wrong. December, that DE is just part of the word from the beginning. Part of the word from the beginning. Words like decide, DE is not, no, decide was not formed by adding DE. It was formed like this. No, there are different other ways of word formation. We are talking about affixation. There are other ways of word formation. Our interest on this topic is by affixation. These words are formed from different. There are some that are formed from other modification of other words from other languages. So that one's a different, not together. But this one, we are talking about what? Word formation by affixation. By affixation. Okay. So decide is not formed from that. Debate, no. Debate, no. Debate, no. There are many examples. Okay. All right. So this, we are done with prefixes that shows, implies, that have negative implications. We are done with prefixes that have negative implications. Now let's move over to the second class of prefixes. The prefixes that express or show contempt, criticism, and disapproval. There are some prefixes that actually show or express contempt, criticism, disapproval. Contempt, criticism, disapproval. Okay, let's look at some words that shows contempt, criticisms, disapproval. Some prefixes, sorry. Prefixes that express what? Contempt, criticism, and disapproval. Okay, let's pick the one after the other. The first one I want to talk about is miss. M-I-S. Miss. Miss. Miss means, depending on the root word and the context. Miss means bad. It can mean bad. It can mean wrongly. Wrongly, astray. I said, depending on the root word, it can mean bad, it can mean wrongly, it can mean astray. It can be added mainly to verbs and nouns. Mainly to verbs and nouns. You see new words like mislead, to lead, and to mislead. Here it portrays leading someone what? Astray. Leading someone astray. So you can have mislead. Mislead. Here the lead is a verb, mis being the prefix. So mislead is also a verb. The word class did not change. But what changed is actually what? The meaning. Just the meaning. So mislead is to lead as someone astray, to lead astray, not leading correctly as case may, but basically is to lead what? Astray, to mislead someone, to mislead someone. Okay, let's look at misplace. Misplace. Remember I said for the definition of mis, and it can mean bad, it can mean wrongly. In this here now, to place something, place here is also a verb. Okay, I can place something here. I can misplace it without even knowing where I placed it again, or place it wrongly. They say that I can't remember again where I kept it. So if you misplace, you wrongly place. If you misplace, you wrongly place. So that's why I say, from definition, that means can also mean what? Wrongly. So if you misplace, you wrongly what? Place. Okay. Another word is misappropriation. Or okay, let me use the one here. Misrepresentation. Misrepresentation. If you are meant to represent, mis misrepresentation. Mis sorry. Mis is the prefix. Representation is the root word. Representation is a noun. Is a noun. To represent is a noun. So misrepresentation is also a noun. But what changes what? The meaning. Once you add this mis, it will change the meaning of what? The representation. So if you misrepresent, so misrepresentation is what? Is wrong what? Representation or bad representation. Okay, the next one is mismatch. Mismatch. The next word is mismatch. So if you match here is a verb. It can also be a noun depending. Depending. But let's look at it as verb. To mismatch means to match wrongly. To match wrongly, to mismatch. Misbehave. Misbehave. To misbehave. If you misbehave, that means you behave what? Wrongly. In a wrong way. Or badly, as case may be. I think the better is wrongly is better. Okay? So there are many of them. Misinform. If you misinform, to misinform. To misinform. It has some element of astray here in a way. Being astray, to misinform. Because people you misinform definitely lead them astray. Because they will doing what they will doing the wrong thing, thinking that they're doing the right thing. So you lead them astray. You lead them astray by misinforming them. So if you see someone that is misinformed about a particular situation, the person will be acting the opposite. The person will be acting the opposite. So if a lecture was to, if a lecturer maybe give information maybe to the class that the lecture will start by 8 a.m. and class will now end up informing the other student that class will start by 9 a.m. The class rep has misinformed the other students, and he has led them astray because some of them may not even come to class 8 a.m. Some may even many their hostel targeting to come by 9 a.m. And at the end, they may not even be allowed to enter the class unless they actually stand on their right and tell the lecturer that they were misinformed. So this is what mis can do to inform, to change it. But the word class, which is verb, is not changed. So misinformed is still is also what? A verb. Okay. All right. So let's look at another. There are many words that you can form by adding mis as a prefix. Let's look at another prefix, mal, mal, mal. Remember where we are discussing the prefixes that show or express prefixes that show or express contempt, criticism, or disapproval. Okay, so let's look at mal. Let's look at mal. Mal. Okay, mal. Mal can mean badly. Badly can mean what? Badly also mean bad, depending, remember, depending on the root word. Good. It can mean badly, it can mean bad, it can mean not correct. It can mean not correct or not correctly, depending. It can mean bad, it can mean badly, it can mean not correct or not correctly. Okay, look at it can be added to verb, can be added to nouns, it can also be added to adjectives, can be added to verbs, nouns, adjectives. Okay, let's look at some words formed by adding mal as prefix. Okay, malfunction, 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 malfunction. If you have a phone and your phone is not functioning correctly, you say that the phone is malfunctioning, or the phone the right here now mal means correctly, yes, because if you press send, if you dial a number, it will be giving you a different altogether. If you type a message, you'll be the button will be showing you. So if you type A, you'll be seeing C. It's malfunctioning. That means it's not functioning correctly. All right, so that's one of the words that can form by adding mal as a prefix. Okay, another one I want us to look at is malpractice. 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 Of course, depending anyway, function can be a verb, function can be a noun, depending. Okay, so malpractice, basically practice is a noun. Practice, because of ce, is a noun. Practice, this ce means noun. Practice, so malpractice. So what does mal stand here when added to or affixed to practice? What does it mean? Look at it, malpractice. Let's go back to the meaning of mal. I said that mal can mean badly, can mean bad, can mean correct, not correct. It can mean not correctly. So mal here talks about what? Bad practice, bad practice, very bad practice. It can mean bad practice. Okay. So another one is maltreat. Maltreat. Treat here is a verb. Maltreats. Maltreats. Bad treatment. Badly. To treat badly is to maltreat. So badly is the correct is the right correct meaning of mal when added to what? When added to what? Treat. So to change the treatment as bad as what? Bad treatment, or the treatment that is badly. Am I communicating? So bad treatment. Okay. So they still depend on the context anyway. That's how the sentence is structured. you see that someone was treated badly. So depending. All right, so malnourished, 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 not correctly nourished. So maybe not the right nutrient is not there. When someone takes eats without the right nutrient, the person will become malnourished. The person will be malnourished. Okay, so let's look at another prefix. Let's look at another prefix that under this prefix that express prefixes that express contempt, disapproval, and criticism. Another one is pseudo, 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 pseudo. Pseudo can mean false. It can mean imitation. It can also mean not genuine, depending on the context and the root word anyway. It can mean false. It can mean not genuine. It can mean imitation. Pseudo, imitation. Okay, it can be added to nouns. It can also be added to adjectives. It can be added to nouns. It can also be added to adjectives. You see words like pseudoscience, 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 words like pseudonym, pseudoscience, pseudonym. Also sees pseudoscientific is also, of course, when you say pseudoscience, pseudoscientific. Of course, you don't need to be told that this one is an adjective. Scientific is an adjective. Why science is what? Noun. So pseudoscience is a noun. Pseudoscientific is an adjective. So imitation, not genuine, or false. False, go more with this. False, go more with this. So we are done with. We'll stop here with when on the words that are formed by adding prefixes that show contempt, criticism, and disapproval. In our next class, we'll continue by looking at prefixes that indicate degree or size. We look at prefixes that indicate degree or size. We look at prefixes that indicate degree or size. That's where we'll start from our next lecture. We look at it. Prefixes that shows degree or size. Thank you very much for your attention. Please, if you have any question, feel free to drop it on the comment section. If you have any question, feel free to drop it on the comment section, and I will attend to you. Please, for our full lectures, go to our YouTube channel, From Eternity the Schoolboy TV. Here we'll see other lectures in different subjects. All you need to do is just go to the channel, subscribe by clicking the red button, and click on the bell-like button by the side, so that you get notification whenever we post new lectures. You get notified on time. Go to playlists, you select any of the subjects or courses you are interested in, and watch. If you have any question, drop it on the comment section. And on daily basis, 9 to 10 p.m., we organize academic battles titled Academic Battle with Family in the School Board. It features one subject per day. Today, being 4th April 2024, the subject for today is chemistry, and the topic is gas laws. It's just a simple thing. One question is a live program on TikTok. Please follow me on TikTok. My TikTok account is at Fameternity83. It's on TikTok. If you go to TikTok, follow me on TikTok. Then it's a live program, 9 p.m. Make sure you are there. So get prepared. Once we write a question on the board. It's a live program. Then you can solve and drop your answer on the comment section within specified time. Within specified time, drop your answer on the comment section. So this competition will help you to develop yourself academically, even your speed and your accuracy. So if you do that, the first person that got the correct answer within the specified time becomes the hero of the day. And a cash prize of 2,500 naira will be awarded to the person instantly online, because you're going to drop your account details. As you are dropping your answer, you are sending your full name. If you end up emerging as the hero or heroine, then you will be asked to send your account number as a comment on the comment section. But if you're not comfortable with that, you can send it as a message on the account, on the phone number that will be sent to you, not as WhatsApp message, SMS message. If you do that, within few seconds, you receive your cash award. Please invite others to join this, and God will bless you as you do so. Please share this lecture with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family, with your students. Someone out there may be in need of these lectures. Tomorrow, by the special grace of God, we'll go over to physics. We'll look at physics. All right. See you next time.